I give you the instruction, you just keep going until I tell you to stop, and that way we're not out of key in this radio probably at times. Stop. Hey. Another story for your other viewers.
I'm excited.
This is my show. You gotta wait your turn. Living off grid is not without its complications. A few days ago, as I was coming to the back door, I noticed a lot of moisture flowing out from underneath the door. And as I opened the door, I noticed there was 3 inches of water in the basement. This little rascal got me. Get over here. We have the mountain water coming in out of the reservoir up top, 110 psi. Goes through a pressure reducer, 65 psi. Goes through a screening system to remove any large debris. And then goes through a filter, and then goes to all our toilets and potable water systems. Don't really know why, but this thing had blown apart. 3 inches of water. But we needed to clean and organize the basement anyway, so it kind of prompted that. And by using cedar walls and everything styrofoam and concrete, except for some bedding and a tent that was on the floor from a bar mitzvah the week before. Bar mitzvah. Is that Jewish? It is.
I don't have to get out my yarmulke before I can think.
So anyway. All right. Father Filch has asked me to go over some of our mechanical systems. Those might be upscaled or downscaled in some homes. We just kind of went kind of simple, except for hydronic heat. Kind of a tricky pain in the butt, but we subbed a lot of it out. As you can see, it's quite the complicated looking display of things. But I'll give you a Reader's Digest version what happens. This is a 6-inch insulated line that comes in from an outdoor furnace. Maybe we'll splice that picture in here.
Yeah.
Comes over, goes up, and goes through a heat exchanger. Continues, circles around, and goes to my hot water heater. So now when the outdoor boiler is running on wood, we have free hot water. It's not free because I had to pay for all this stuff. Then it circles back around and goes back. Hey! Chill. Ah! Are you done? It circles back around, hits the basement floor, goes through another set of pumps, and then goes up and heats the upper floor. Kind of simple, but we contracted all that out because way too much to learn in a small window.
And what happens if the boiler goes out?
Well, we have the wood boiler outside, 550. We got a propane boiler indoors. So in the event that our thermostat tells it to be 65 degrees in here, and we're gone for a month, and our boiler outside is not working, propane boiler backup, keep the house from freezing. Goose, you want to be in a movie? Come here. Sit. Stay. What's this thing called?
There you go.
Come, stay. Stay. Good boy. Want to come over here? Get a little bit off street. Come here. Come here. Right there. Right here. Come here. Turn. Set. You stay right there. You'll be a YouTube star.
Tell me about the outside boiler.
Outside boiler. Central boiler 550. I don't really know a lot about it, Josh. Other than
But you know it works. And the house is warm.
it's kind of like the hydronics inside. This is all tied to the hydronics guy. His name is Ramsey. He's down in Hayden. But this rascal, you fill it up full of wood, it lights. And what's really cool about it, I can push a button and it gives me hot or fresh air blowing through my fire chamber. So once I start it, I get a lot of help from the burner. What's really neat about this thing when she's working, she runs off the thermostat in the house, and when we don't need the hydronics pumping, it pretty much shuts down and just keeps the coals and the embers almost alive and almost dead. And then when she tells it to, she'll hear that fan fire back up. You gotta turn her off now, or manually shut her off. And what's really neat about today's technology, not that we have Wi-Fi out here or any type of internet service, this thing will actually talk to your cell phone and you'll know exactly what it's doing and when you need wood almost.
So talk to me about wood, because I've heard a lot of people complain that the one drawback to this is that it'll give you tons of heat, but you got to put away 10, 15 cords of firewood in order to keep it going all winter. So
That's a good question.
What's been your experience with, is this thing just gobbling wood?
Well, okay, I'll put it into perspective. When we first got here, we had 3 wood stoves in the house.
Yeah.
That was, well, actually there was 4 wood stoves in the house. We were only technically using 3 of them. One, if I matched the wood that I was using for those 3 stoves in the 3,200 square foot house, we're using less wood. Does it use a lot of wood to keep that heated? You know, I think once we have all the insulation properties done in the house, it's like you've seen 3 doors still got styrofoam on them. There's cracks here, there's cracks there. Once we have those things addressed, I think a 2 to 3 day fill up on this, and we won't ever fill this thing all the way up, probably not. On this house, based on the last 3 weeks consumption, we're going to need, I think, 12 cords of wood if we have an average winter. If we have a harsh winter, an extra month, you just figure probably an extra 3 cords. And that's kind of where my number's coming from, 3 cords a month.
3 cords a month.
Yeah.
So that's actually not bad. And I guess for some people, that much wood would be hard to come by. We've got so much stinking wood up here, wood's easy to come by.
Yeah, the only thing between this boiler and this forest is a man with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's plentiful. As a matter of fact, you can pan right here behind the house. From the fire, there's 1, 2, 3 dead, I don't know, they lodgepole pines or whatever, Douglas firs. I mean, that's got to be at least 90 foot of firewood right there. So yeah, I don't have to go very far. Just got to have the manpower to chop it up, process it, and put it in there to, what do they call that when you let it dry? Season it. You got to get the right seasoning.
The seasoning, the curation, if you will.
Yeah, we gotta season it. We got some of that Everglades seasoning from Florida.
Will you put a roof over this, or will you leave it out? What do they tell you?
Well, that's a good question. And
because I see you're up against the woodshed here, but I know you're going to get 4 or 5 foot of snow.
Yes.
Do you want to keep this?
Yes. And I've already got the concrete pillar footer things that the beams go on. One's going right behind your foot there. One's going over there, and we're gonna probably drop down about 24 inches and just come right over this with a shed roof. We got to cut 1 hole. I already got the tin. I've already got the beams. It's just not been the priority, because if you pan back to the house, we just finished shed purlings over the porch. We have the metal on site tomorrow because half the crew took the day off. We are starting our metal, and that's probably going to be a 5-day process to get the metal on.
But then your metal is on your roof.
And then this is project number 1, uno numero. After that is this wing, because that's really what I need anyway, is a wing here, nice woodpecker, and a wing on the other side is where the log splitter is.
Yeah.
So now we process it, stack it, and look here. There she blows. You come right out this way. And what we'll end up doing is across the front, we'll take this firewood out, and eventually we'll use the wood up, and then we'll restack it, and then we'll just have to, mentally rotate it to always use the best seasoned wood. One thing I've learned.
How many cords do you think you have now? What do you feel like you still need to get done?
I think I got 8 to 10. I haven't just double checked it, but yeah, I'm going to need probably 4 more before the spring. I mean, before we get to probably March.
The beauty of having it enclosed is you could come out here in a snowstorm and split stack.
And we actually got probably 20 nice 17 to 24 inch timbers on the property waiting dried to be processed. We just haven't had the time to actually haul them up here to get it done. The good thing is our skid steer's got chains on it, so we can drag them out in the snow, as long as it's not too deep.
Goose, how much did this boiler cost?
Well, you see, the boiler, Josh, right at 10 grand for this 550 thing. Complete install, hydronics, all that you've seen in the house, minus probably 100 hours of labor, 80 hours of labor. You're looking at this 2 floors in hydronics. That's 3,200 square foot. I think you probably, with the boiler, come out to 24 grand, 24K.
It's not bad. So Joe, with that additional cost, which is probably an additional 40% over forced air systems, why did you choose the mechanical systems that you did? Why go hydronic with the additional cost?
You know, it's ironic. I've heard you say multiple times in your videos about, you know, you can always go back and add granite countertops and all your fancy stuff later. My philosophy is just like yours. Put in the extra effort and structure in your mechanicals so you don't have to worry about it later. You can't go back and redo it cheaply. And let's just say, in a perfect world, I get to live out the next 30 years here. I'm going to be so happy that I got an outdoor boiler, because I got no indoor fireplaces unless I choose to have one. 2, because we have the propane boiler as backup. If I can't get out of bed to keep the boiler going, my propane's got it. But the biggest thing is the air quality in the house. Do you want smoke in your house? I live off grid. There's no power company out here. How else am I going to heat that house? I have 2 choices. Have the fire inside or the fire outside. That's the only two I got. But there's got to be fire.
I think that's well said.